First off, I want to say thank you for clicking on the video, and before you get into the video itself, and even before I dive into the comments section, because Lord knows I'm going to hear it from you guys, I'm going to get a lot of, oh, Seth, this is like 3-4 days late. Oh my god, this isn't a Tuesday video. This is like a Friday or Saturday video. Like, you totally screwed up. Oh, this is a terrible video. And the thumbs down and the bad comments. I can feel it already. But before you do that, I have some explaining to do. Why was this video late? Well, honestly, as you'll see within the video, and I won't spoil or anything, but this was supposed to be a very plentiful week for physical media. A lot of titles, releases coming out, and it was a struggle to find physical media. Not at first, but over the course of the video, it became a struggle more and more and more. And what I thought I was going to see in the stores didn't happen at all. And so I was literally running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to find as much physical media as I could for you guys. I went to multiple stores. I went to, as I said, multiple stores multiple times. Like, I literally went to various Walmarts 2-3 times over. I went back and forth to Best Buy. I went to another Best Buy, and all over the place, man. I was running around trying to find physical media. I didn't get home on Tuesday night until 10 p.m. Swear to God. And at that point, I was tired. I was messaging my girlfriend, and I had to be up early for work. And so I was like, okay, I just had to just cut it short, man. And then the next day, once I got home, basically it was a whirlwind of stuff, doing stuff with family and responsibilities, and it was just a mess. Then the next day, I decided I'm going to go out and try to find more physical media for you guys. I was trying to add on to the video. I went to various Walmarts yet again, multiple times. And maybe they put stuff on the shelves that they didn't put out a couple days ago. And no, it was the same shit, different places, but the same scenario. Just not the physical media I was looking for. And so I guess what I'm trying to say, guys, is that the reason why it's late is because I want to do the best I can for you guys. That's the reason. And that's the honest to God truth. You know, yes, I could do a 15 or 20 minute video showing off a couple things and being on my way and uploading the video to you guys and not giving two shits, because, you know, I could realize, oh, you're gonna watch it regardless, so why should I put the effort in? I could do that, guys, and trust me, I could be like a lot of people out there and do that. But I'm not going to do that, guys. I'm not going to be one of those people. And why? Why can't I just be like everybody else? Why can't I just do a 15 to 20 minute video and call it a day? Because, oddly enough, I actually care about you guys. Each and every one of you I care about. I don't know you personally. I don't know your likes. I don't know your dislikes. I don't know your family. I've never hung out with you. But yeah, I care about you. I care about each and every one of you, and I feel like it's my responsibility, it's my duty to do the best I can for you guys every single week. Truly. It's just something that's in my bones at this point. I want to. And when I feel like I let you guys down, it really disappoints me. I feel disappointed in myself sometimes because I'm not doing enough for you guys. That's how much I care. Maybe I shouldn't give a shit. Maybe I should just do these quickie videos and get them out to you guys and call it a day and be done. But I don't know. I just don't feel like that's the right thing to do. Honestly. And so, I try to push myself as much as humanly possible every single week and go to multiple stores and search the physical media like crazy, like a hound, and literally, look up talking points and topics and prepare this video like 2+ hours of content for you guys. Because what the hell? Why not? And I don't know, for me guys, it matters to me. It really does. Because I know that you guys have your difficulties in your lives. You have rough days at work, family issues, worries and stress piled up to the roof. And all I hope for is that when you watch any of my videos, there's something about it that maybe is thought-provoking or funny or amusing, or maybe just takes you away from your rough times for 2 hours out of a 24-hour day. And if I at least do that, then maybe I'm doing something right. So, I wish I could say that every single week I'm going to get it right, but I'm not. And there's going to be weeks where I'm literally going to sit there pounding my head, wishing I could have done better for you guys. But the only reason why I do that is because I care that much about you. So, I apologize. I 150% apologize to you guys that this is late. I didn't mean it to be late. But I just want to do the best I can for you guys. And sometimes that means literally, sacrificing sleep and not seeing people and just going out of my mind to make you guys happy for a short amount of time. So, there's not a lot of media here as much as I wanted it to, guys. I feel bad overall. But just know that even though I might not show off as much physical media as some of the other guys out there, that I'm putting in the effort just as much to do it. And sometimes it just doesn't work out. But I will always put my heart and soul into every single video that I do for you guys. Because you mean that much to me. So, again, sorry, apologize for it being late. I'll try not to do that again. But in the meantime, please enjoy the latest and late Out and About video. Welcome, everybody, to a brand new Blu-ray and DVD Out and About video today. And this week sees the release of the thrilling drama Promising Young Woman, hitting store shelves along with the sci-fi horror comedy Psycho Goreman. The 2020 horror remake of Castle Freak is coming out, and let's not forget that Mill Creek Entertainment is putting out a Blu-ray Steelbook edition of the 1980s cult classic, Rad. Plus much, much more. So let's go see the deals, exclusives, and we are at our first location, Walmart. So let's go in and see what they got. All right, everybody, we are in at Walmart, and can you believe this? Holy shit, guys! There's actually a lot of titles to check out this week. Oh my god, man. I am I'm fucking blown away, man. Usually we come in here and I'm not seeing anything. Holy shit, this is a complete turnaround, man. That's crazy, it's nuts, but here we go, man. And the first thing I'm seeing here is they have the DVD of Promising Young Woman for $17.96. A game-changing masterpiece. Let's talk about this one. Now, I got a chance to watch this on Amazon Prime, and I had heard amazing things about this movie, man. Really amazing, wonderful. I mean, the praise that this movie got was across the board, man. I mean, truly, people were really loving this movie, how hard-hitting it was, groundbreaking even for a lot of people talking about this film. And so I had to check it out. I mean, I knew I was going to anyways, but I mean, after the praise, it was a no-brainer. And basically, it's about this woman, played by Carey Mulligan, who, in a nutshell, she's going against men who are basically treating women like pieces of meat, taking advantage of them, and she is pushing back on that, and pushing back on these men, and pushing back essentially on rape culture in a lot of ways, shoving it down these other men's throats about how they treat women. And it all stems from her past and the experiences that she dealt with when she was younger, and how she is slowly getting revenge on these guys, and slowly getting revenge on the people that made her the way that she is. And that's what she's dealing with. And it sort of all revolves around that, man. And I gotta say, this is a phenomenal movie. I am not even lying, man. Everybody who said all the great things about this movie, they're absolutely right. 110%, man. Carey Mulligan is amazing here. She's a tour de force in this role. You feel for her. You understand what she's having to deal with. And you put yourself in her position as a woman who is turning the tables on these guys, and the struggles that women deal with, and how you shove it in men's faces. Very fascinating stuff, man. She does an amazing job. You feel for her, you root for her. Sometimes you feel a little conflicted at the same time. She does a fantastic job here. All of the actors truly do, man. Everybody does. I thought the plot and everything was really fantastic, really amazing. And I like the fact that it does take a hard look at it. It really does. It doesn't really pull any punches. I mean, it really just goes straight for the gut, man. And I'm not going to lie, man. It's going to upset a lot of people. There's people that are really going to like this movie, and there's other people that are going to feel really queasy about this movie. They're not going to like it for a lot of reasons. That maybe it throws it back into, men's faces. And the idea that maybe we don't go head to head with those feelings and those emotions that maybe we should. And the fact that this movie truly hits you over the head with it and truly tackles that is going to make some people very uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie, it really is. There were times I felt uncomfortable. But I think we kind of need that. I mean, I'm not going to lie, man. I think this movie does a great job in really showcasing it in a big bad way, man. The situations that men put themselves in, that women sometimes, whether they realize it or not, is putting themselves in those positions as well. How men are forcing women, and just coming to terms with that. It's truly eye-opening. It's wonderfully well made. It's thrilling. It's dramatic. The acting is amazing. Everything was really top notch here, man. I didn't quite know how I was going to feel about it, because a lot of movies that are really well praised, like really, really, really extremely well praised, sometimes are not always my cup of tea. But this one, it was 100% my cup of tea, man, and I truly enjoyed this movie. And if you're willing to get a little uncomfortable, I guarantee you that it's worth it. And maybe you shouldn't get uncomfortable. Maybe we need to deal with this. And I think a movie like this really deserves to be seen by everybody. Men, women, you name it. Everybody needs to see this, because it really is going to shine a light on some things that haven't been shined a light on before. And desperately need it. And this is a movie that needs to be seen, no doubt. And then I'm seeing they have the DVD of Songbird for $14.96. The only way out is together. Well, this is true unless a virus is happening. And speaking of viruses, yes, this movie actually deals with it, guys. This movie, okay, and we've kind of started to see it already, right? There's certain movies that are already dealing with the COVID-19 virus. We've seen Host do it. There was that romantic comedy indie film that I showed you guys a few weeks back. That was one of them. I know there's some other ones. This one is another one on that list that deals with it. It does not exactly COVID-19. It's like COVID-23 or something. But this is one of the first big Hollywood movies to deal with the pandemic. And I was very interested to see where this one was going to go. I saw it on Amazon Prime, man. I was curious because I'm like, okay, I like how Hollywood is starting to dive into this, but how far are they willing to take it is what I want to know, man. So basically, it's like multiple stories of people dealing with the lockdown. In this timeline, in this world, it's 4 years into the lockdown. The virus is getting worse. It's mutating. You know, people who are found sick are going to this quarantine Q zone, sometimes never to literally be seen again, perhaps even death and dying. And it's these stories about these certain individuals, some people that are using it to their advantage, other people that are trying to get loved ones out and to see them. And it's all these sort of complications that are surrounded by the COVID-23 virus and the complications of being quarantined and away from one another. Man, was this really fantastic, dude. I am dead serious. It was absolutely amazing, man. Now, I'm not gonna lie, like a movie like Host, I wasn't the biggest fan of. There were moments that I really liked Host, and then there were moments where I was like, it's not really great. Even that romantic comedy, that indie one that I showed you guys back, I mean, those are good ones, I'm sure, but they don't really deal with the virus head on. They're like movies that are their own separate films, like found footage, horror stuff, romantic comedy, that the COVID virus and everything is sort of like in the backdrop of it. It's not really the main focus. This movie, it is the main focus of the story. The COVID virus and the complications of it is one of the huge main focuses. And I love this movie. I love the dramatic elements. I love the sort of police state world that has come to fruition, and the idea that, you know, you have to battle authority and that people are susceptible to this virus and other people are immune, and the complications of even opening a door could mean death. It's powerful, man. It's really powerful. Every story, whether it's the love story aspect to it or the idea of betrayal, is amazing, man. Or just even meeting somebody for the first time through Zoom and feeling a connection with them. It's powerful stuff, man. Truly powerful. I love the idea of, you know, of course, the mask wearing and the social distancing and how the world has changed over the course of just a few short years of putting packages into mailboxes, and they have to be like almost like protected by this UV light in order to like eradicate the virus. Like it's so crazy, man, of the stuff that they have in this movie. And it's wild because, I mean, I look at this movie, I'm like, oh my God, this could be our future. Like, I'm serious. Like, I was amazed by this movie. I'm like, oh my God, it's a fascinating movie. It's extremely well made and well done, but at the same time, it's like extremely eerie. Like, it's a really eerie film where you just almost feel like this is our future. And you just are like, wow, what... Man, you're just blown away by this film, man. I gotta admit, you know, Hollywood is really just starting to get into these COVID virus movies. We've only seen a small few of them, not really many. But the batch that we have seen, I'm not gonna lie, is amazing. And this is one of, honestly, out of the ones that I've seen, is the best one. I love it so, so much. This is absolutely amazing of a movie. It's just a really great virus film, but it's just a really great tense thriller. And there's certain things that you don't see coming, and the characters are all kinds of, they're likable, they're scumbags, they're twisted, their motives are all over the place. It's so well done, and everybody puts their effort into it, whether it's Demi Moore, Bradley Whitford, Craig Robinson, you name it, man. Everybody does a phenomenal job here. This could have been a little cheesy film. Oh, well, a little virus flick, and we're indoors and quarantining, and we have to deal with the movie like that, and it could have been a cheapo film, but they really go out of their way to make this a sprawling pandemic virus film, and damn does it work. This is one of the best ones that I've seen in a really long time. Highly beyond worth, man. And I never thought I'd say that for a COVID movie, but this is a must watch. Then I'm seeing they have the Blu-ray digital of Dark Web Cicada 3301 for $14.96, the DVD for $12.96. Now, I got a chance to watch this on Amazon Prime, right? The main reason why I was really interested in this, guys, is because it's called Dark Web. Now, don't know if you guys realize or not, but there was a horror flick or two that was all about the dark web. It was a lot of like found footage horror stuff, but it was still horror, and even though it wasn't the greatest, I had some moments where I kind of liked it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna give this a look. Maybe it's another in those series of dark web films. Why not, right? And I was so impossibly wrong. I mean, I am serious, man. This is not a horror film, not even in the least bit, guys. No way, no how, nada, zippo zilch. And I was pissed. I was pissed. Once I got over that, I was trying to settle into the movie, but I was really hoping it was another one of those like dark web horror films. But no, it's basically about this guy who is this sort of hacker, and he's trying to find out this sort of secret organization group, and sort of like revealing secrets and stuff like that. And it's the whole complication with the NSA and the government, and he's being followed and tracked, and people are after him, and it's this whole sort of like hacker thriller type deal, right? Well, first of all, the disappointment not being a horror film kind of got to me. But once I settled, I was like, okay, fine. I'll watch the movie. And I got to admit, watching it didn't really do much for me. I mean, it's an interesting idea of a hacker thriller, the idea of this secret organization. And I know that this movie is based in some way to some true events of this secret organization putting out these puzzles to recruit, hackers and people within the technology industry. Nobody really knows. It's still mysterious to this day. This movie kind of is based on that to a very, very small extent, man. Honestly, the movie kind of disappointed me, and they do try. I mean, they're finding the clues. They're going from one location to the next. Some people you can trust. Other people, are a little shady and have different motives, and you have to watch out for people and who can you trust. I mean, it's all there, honestly. The problem is that this movie doesn't really strike the right balance of a film. And what I mean by it is, like, there's a lot of comedic moments where they try to break the ice with the tension, and it doesn't work. It comes off as really flat and ridiculous and over the top, and you're like, why is this even there? You have this, like, art professor that they get into the antics with, and he's sort of this goofy Jar Jar Binks like motherfucker, and it's like, okay, he's doing goofy antics because I guess we have to break the ice. I mean, why can't we just have a straight up thriller? And the main character is sort of always goofing around and, making fun of this or making fun of that. And I don't know, man. I mean, they try to make it very suspenseful, and they try to make it like this sexy hacker thriller, and man, it doesn't. I mean, there's moments where it's intriguing and I wanted to know more, and then there would be some doing some sort of lame joke or comedy element that I was like, this totally does not fit. It has no fucking place in the movie. Why are we putting it in there? Other than you want it to be like cool and hip by doing it. I don't know, man. I mean, I almost think like this is like a hacker movie for hipsters. but I don't know, because I don't even think hipsters would enjoy this thing, man. There's some good ones out there as far as hacker thrillers are concerned. And this one had a cool idea of like going into the dark web, right? The dark web is really mysterious and it's shady, and you don't know what people are doing on there. And it could have been a really great thrilling experience of people going after you and the paranoia of it. But yeah, with a really imbalance of terrible comedy mixed with, trying to be like a David Fincher movie but not really succeeding. Yeah, like, they tried, and give them credit for trying to make it work, but a good story idea, but fails pretty much flat on its face, man. Yeah, this one, hate to say it, but I've seen better, and unfortunately, the dark web is calling, and they want their shitty movie back. Then we've got the Blu-ray digital of Don't Tell a Soul for $14.96, the DVD for $12.96. Now, I know this came out this week. I did not get a chance to watch it, but I gotta admit, just from the cover, it looks really intriguing. Rainn Wilson down in a well. There's something about that is oddly fascinating. I'm not gonna lie, man. What is this about? Some secrets should stay buried. They ain't lying. Okay. While stealing money to help their mother, Hamby. Ooh, a secret. Ooh. Tense cat and mouse thriller. Nice. Look at that. That looks really cool. I'm not gonna lie, man. That has me intrigued. Like, when you think of cat and mouse, like, tense thrillers, you don't immediately think Rainn Wilson, to be fair. Like I don't think you really think about that dude when you think that, right? But I gotta admit, it's an interesting idea. Interesting that Rainn Wilson would be a part of this. I like the fact that there's, like, a secret that they don't know, which will completely, like, turn everything around and harm the family. Like, I like that stuff. I am very curious about this one. I really am. Especially Rainn Wilson being in a thriller, man. There's something about that is odd, but yet really satisfying. To see somebody go out of their comfort zone like that. This could be interesting, man, really. If you guys know anything about Don't Tell a Soul, well, obviously, tell me. And then I'm seeing they have the Blu-ray of Russian Raid for $14.96, the DVD for $12.96, Vengeance at Any Cost. Okay, I know this came out last week, but I didn't see it at any of the stores, so guess now just finding it, guys. Okay, what is this one about? Long after the murder of his father, a secret agent killed in a mission factory raid, a former special forces operative Nikita. Oh, it's played by a guy. I was almost thinking, like, is it La Femme Nikita? Ah, damn it. Fortunately not, man. Returns to Russia as a mercenary. He leads an elite team on a top dollar heist targeting the same facility. But no one else knows his true objective is the revenge. Yes. Oh my god, a great, like, Russian assassin mercenary movie, dare I say? Yes. Oh my god, man. I love ones that sort of portray like Russian mercenaries and assassin stuff. Like Red Sparrow, I was thinking, with Jennifer Lawrence is really good, man. Stuff like that, or La Feminakita. I'm like that, man. I mean, this probably is kind of cool, right? I mean, it has probably some cool, like, you know, double crosses and some cool action, maybe some mercenary revenge action. Russia style. Nice. I like the cover. Could be good. Of course, it could be lame, too. You never know, guys. But I like a good Russian mercenary revenge flick from time to time. I guess who doesn't, right? Hey, you never know. Could be good. If you know much about Russian raid. Looks pretty decent for an action revenge flick. Definitely let me know. Now, last and certainly least, because I'm not giving this movie any fucking praise, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm straight up gonna be kind of brutal on this one, man. And that is Money Plane. The Blu-ray for $12.96, the DVD for $9.96. They gave this motherfucker a Blu-ray. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Okay, dude. I saw this on Amazon Prime. I did. I don't know why, man. I don't know why. Okay, I kind of know why, dude. Because I like the cast. Thomas Jane, Kelsey, Denise. I remember them from old school movies that I know and love. And I believe that guy right there is Edge. Now, if you don't know him exactly, well, you'd have to be sort of a wrestling aficionado to really know, because he actually wrestled for a long time for the WWE, and now is getting into movies. Sure, why not? Because every wrestler can apparently act. Right. So look, it's basically about this group of, professional thieves that have to do this heist on this plane. The Money Plane. Yes. Where basically it's this plane where, it's this top secret thing that the US government can't get to because they only fly in international waters, and it's like these high rollers that bet on all this dangerous and deadly stuff, and they have to end up basically taking down the money plane, stealing the money for this guy, Kelsey Grammer. If they don't, they're dead. Simple and easy enough, right? Oh, Lord. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm gonna be real honest here. This movie blew chunks. It blew major chunks, man. Dude, I mean, where do I start with this thing? I think the first thing is the fact that this movie is incredibly cheap. And when I say cheap, I mean cheap. Like, it's like Ed Wood cheap. Like, they filmed this thing in, like, a small warehouse, and they put up, like curtains to try to pretend it's a different set. Like, oh, we're gonna film the plane in a little room with, like, some props and a tablecloth, and yeah, it looks like High Roller, right? It looks like a casino in a plane, right? Right? And of course, like, they're like set dressers, like, absolutely, this is great. I mean, I bought the tablecloth at Walmart, man, real fucking impressive. Like, oh Jesus, man. Oh my God, the sets are so impossibly cheap, man. It is, I mean, they pretty much spent the money on the talent. And even the talent isn't that good. I mean, Denise Richards, she has a small role, blink and you'll miss it. I mean, she's not that great in it, but I guess she's somewhat competent. Thomas Jane here looks like he's, like, drunk most of the fucking movie. Like, he's almost ready to pass out. Adam Copeland, Edge, he is so terrible. He can't act himself out of a wet paper basket, man. And he's the lead of the movie. He's the lead. He's supposed to be sort of the charismatic George Clooney, Ocean's 11 type of dude, right? He's supposed to be that guy, dude. Are you fucking kidding me, man? We get this guy? You seriously can't get anybody else? Well, we spent the money on Kelsey and Denise. Denise needs more plastic surgery. So, what the fuck you want us to do? I'm like, okay. I mean, the one person that's having fun in this movie is Kelsey Grammer. I mean, I'm not saying he's great in the movie, but he knows what he's in. He knows it's straight up trash, and it's terrible, and it's ridiculous. But he's just kind of going with it and making the most of what he's got, which ain't much, but he's trying at least, but it still comes off. He tries to be this intimidating, badass mob boss, and I'm like, dude, Paul Sorvino in Goodfellas would fucking shoot you in the face and not even think twice. Like, you, mob boss, like, fuck you, man. Man, boy, Al Pacino or Robert De Niro would smother you with a pillow, bitch. Like, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, man? God damn it. The sets are impossibly cheap. I mean, this movie is so cheap. It's like Ed Wood cheap, right? But the thing about it is, Ed Wood movies are at least kind of fun or funny in their own way, right? It's just kind of weird, bizarre, but this movie is just cheap for cheap's sake. The acting, the sets, the fight sequences. There's this chick that's supposed to be sort of the badass fight chick that sort of ends up like coming in and taking care of the bad guys when they need to, and oh my god, she is terrible. The action scenes are piss poor, man. No choreography whatsoever. I mean, mind you, what do they have money for? They have money for nothing. They can't even convince me that they're on a fucking plane, let alone like this is sort of like serious death-defying stakes. I mean, this is so impossibly terrible. How the fuck does this get a Blu-ray release? Seriously. I mean, I don't get it. I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know, man. It's nuts, dude. Oh, this is crazy. And look at this. I was just thinking about this. This guy says this is the most important movie of the summer. Brian Grove from Up Rocks. Dude, what type of weed was this guy smoking? Seriously, what type of weed? I mean, who dropped acid in this guy's water? Like, seriously? This is the most important movie of the summer? I mean, what about, I don't know, Tenet, maybe? I mean, I don't love Tenet, but what the fuck? Or any other fucking movie? Money Plane? I mean, dude. I mean, Money Plane apparently don't got anything on Tenet. Just saying. Oh, fuck, man. This is god-awful, dude. This is so fucking terrible, man. I mean, if it wasn't so bad and I wasn't sitting there in awe of how terrible and cheap it was, it might have been funny. But it's just pathetic. This movie is flat out pathetic. I mean, the acting is pathetic. Adam Copeland, or Edge, trying to be a leading man is laughable. Like, you think you can act? You think you could be the next Rock? Or the next Hulk Hogan? Or Andre the Giant? Fuck you, bro. You do not know anything about acting. I mean, you do some little stuff, some little promo stuff on the WWE network, and you think that you're gonna be the next charismatic leading man. Man, I love these fucking wrestlers coming out and thinking they're like the best thing since sliced bread. Dude, you're not. You're not, dude. Just stop, man. Denise Richards, just stop. Thomas Jane, go to an AA meeting. And Kelsey Grammer, God bless your heart, man. But go do the reboot of Frasier or whatever the fuck you're doing, man. This movie, I mean, people got paid. They got paid. But this movie is fucking laughable. It's a fucking joke, man. And damn, dude. Like, I was just watching them, I'm like, okay, they literally have Joey Lawrence in this movie. Joey motherfucking Lawrence. Like, from Blossom, like, whoa. Yeah, that dude. And he's in here. I hadn't seen him in a movie in a long ass time. Like, Joey Lawrence? Damn, dude, you had to make your comeback at Money Plane? Motherfucker, man. All I'm saying, dude, is that if I gotta if I gotta join the Mile High Club, I am not doing it on this motherfucking plane, dude. Man, I'd rather smoke weed with Snoop Dogg on his plane than fucking deal with this shit. Damn, man. This movie was terrible. Woo! Man, if you wanna wipe your ass with a cheap turd, man, go for Money Plane. I can't guarantee you it's gonna wipe you clean, but it may wipe away some shit. But then again, it might add more shit too. No way. Oh God. I cannot believe they made a fucking Blu-ray of that. A fucking money. Oh, get the fuck out of here with that one, man. But besides how terrible Money Plane is, I gotta admit, it's a really great selection this time around. I mean, way better than I could have ever possibly imagined, man. And I thought Walmart was gonna whiff this time. Dude, they came through in a big bad way, and I am pleasantly surprised, man. Wow. Pretty damn cool. Alright, let's head out. Wow. That I was not expecting, guys. I mean, I was thinking I was gonna come into this Walmart and I was gonna be, oh guys, hey look, there's like nothing here. Typical, usual shit. Let's head on to the next location. And damn, was I proven wrong. In fact, I was talking to the older lady who I helped last week and who like works her ass off here in the electronics physical media area. And she said that was the first thing she did when she came in here this morning. She filled the physical media, man. She ended up putting all the new releases out, and there was like a couple of empty spots in the new release area, and she was pissed, right? Because she was like, oh, I wanted to find it for you and put all of it out and make it look really nice. And I'm like, no, seriously, I appreciate what you did because it looks so much better than it usually is, man. You rock, and she is awesome, man. And so what would have been a typical terrible first Walmart beginning of this video ended up being really plentiful, man. A lot of the new releases that were out, some cool indie stuff as well. Money Plane. Oh, it was pretty damn good, man. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Now, will this continue? Let's hope. I don't have a lot of high hope, but I'm praying to the physical media gods. Let's hope it happens, man. In the meantime, hey, I'm a happy camper this week so far, man. Let's head to the next location. Let's hope some more physical media goodness is ahead. All right, everybody. We are at our second location, Target. But before we go in, I got to talk to you guys about something. So I got this comment under my last live stream that I did from one of my subscribers, Chuck. Chuck, thanks for sending this. These statistics blew my mind, man. So thank you. So his comment was, so I follow another guy that posted a video where he gave an eye-opening statistic, right? Since 1920, there have been 400,000 movies made. There are roughly 245,000 movies on DVD and only 24,000 Blu-rays and only 760 4K movies. So yes, collecting DVD is still the way to go. Very interesting statistics. So let's assume that those numbers are right. Let's assume that they're real and that they're solid for argument's sake. Okay, let's say that. That is shocking. Okay, and that just proves the point of view because last week I gave that really great talking point about, people who were hating on somebody who only collected DVD and they were just calling him an idiot and just roasting the guy. And you guys had a lot of really great comments and reactions and telling me about how you feel that supporting physical media no matter what is very important, and I completely agree. But these statistics, I mean, again, there are only 760 4K movies out there. There's only 24,000 Blu-rays, 245,000 movies on DVD, and there's over 400,000 movies made since 1920. That is incredible to me. And it goes to show that as we are diving into the next focus of media, that less and less movies are getting transferred over to the next available format. I mean, think about this. VHS had a long time to simmer and, have a lot of movies on the platform. DVD had a very long time. Blu-ray has had a decent amount of time, okay, to build up its catalog. 4K only has 760 movies on 4K. Yes, they have not had as much time. Truthful enough, they haven't. And they're still a very much younger format compared to some of the other ones. But now I'm starting to hear rumblings about 8K. So we're already starting to push 4K in the next few years slowly under the rug. Wow. They're not even giving 4K any time to really shine. I mean, compare that to Blu-ray. I mean, compare that to DVD that had a long time to gestate and had a lot of room to grow. 4K hasn't. And just today at Walmart, I saw a woman who was grabbing one of the new releases. She grabbed the DVD when the Blu-ray was available. Why? If the Blu-ray is right there, why get the DVD? Because she wanted to save a few extra dollars, and she felt that the DVD was worth it for her. Possibly. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, the argument that DVD is irrelevant and that we should only be buying Blu-ray and 4K, to me, seems ridiculous, especially when you look at those stats. Those are mind-blowing stats, man. I mean, truly, they are. And that just goes to show that even a format like Blu-ray still has such a long way to go to put out a lot of the movies and the media that DVD has done. And the same with 4K. I mean, if 4K wants to be successful, then they at least have to somewhat catch up to Blu-ray. And I just don't know if that's ever going to happen. I mean, let alone catch up to DVD. I mean, it's very fascinating to me because we always want to push the latest and greatest media. But I've always told you guys that with each new media format that comes over, we get less and less movies on that format. Whether it's the film transfers that aren't able to go to the next medium, whether these companies feel like, why am I going to put this movie out on 4K when it didn't really sell all that well on DVD or Blu-ray, or you name it. There's a whole host of reasons. And so DVD still stands up as one of the biggest profiters for physical media. It still takes the lion's share of the money. It really does, man. And why? Because there's so much media, indie media and old school movies that are on that format that are not on any other format. And Blu-ray is slowly trying to catch up, but now with 4K, that's become a little bit of a difficulty. They're still trying. There's still a lot of great media that's new that hasn't come onto the format that is just getting there. There's a lot of stuff coming out this year that is just starting to hit Blu-ray, which is great. But we've got a long way to go, man. I mean, think about this. There are movies from the 1920s that still, to this day, have not even gotten a DVD release. They're just stuck in VHS hell. There's other ones that, frankly, got lost in time and never even got a VHS release. So it's interesting because now with streaming, right, we're now headed in a different direction where everybody says everything's going to be on streaming. All of the movies and all the TV shows, everything's going to be on streaming. It's going to be a digital bonanza. And I just don't believe it, guys. I just don't believe it one bit. If a good chunk of movies haven't hit the DVD platform, and a bigger chunk has not hit the Blu-ray platform, and an even wider chunk has not even hit the 4K, do you think that all these movies are going to be on the digital platform? They're just not. Physical media, to look at the broad perspective, it's everything. It's not just 4K and Blu-ray, it's also DVD as well. We need to see the whole picture. And when I see people on these comment sections on these social media posts say, "Oh, this is really terrible," and "Oh, you're not down with 4K, then you're an idiot. You're a terrible movie lover. You name it." I said, I can guarantee you that's just not going to happen. That a lot of these movies are going to be on these new mediums. I guarantee you that if we get 8K, a lot of the movies that are on the Blu-ray or even 4K format won't even find a home on 8K. And so, before you start bashing a person who only buys VHS or only buys DVD, or maybe even only buys Blu-ray, remember that to be a well-rounded movie lover, truly, it's not just about the latest and greatest media. You have to go back and you have to focus on all of the media together. And in order to do that, you're going to be a more well-rounded physical media lover, a more well-rounded movie lover, and you might experience movies that otherwise you wouldn't find. Because I guarantee you a lot of stuff on DVD just will not make it to these newer formats, and definitely will not make it to 4K. It's interesting statistics, and those statistics, I hate to say it, are just only going to continue to grow. So, for me as a physical media lover, I may not always like Blu-ray at times. I may not always like 4K. I may not always like DVD. But I see the whole perspective. And I think people have to. Because if they don't, there's going to be a lot of movies that are going to be lost for forever. And that will be a shame. That will truly, truly be a shame. So just remember that, man. Remember that. See the whole perspective. Don't just see one aspect. See the whole perspective. And it'll be very interesting in what you find. Thank you, Chuck, for that great statistic, man. Wild, but really true, man. Definitely appreciate that, man. And speaking of physical media, guys, what a really fantastic week so far. I mean, at that first Walmart, was so not expecting what I found, man. I don't know what we're going to see over at Target, but to be honest with you, it is a pretty sizable week, so Target's gotta have something, right? Right? Let's hope. The only way to find out is to head inside, so let's go in and check it out. All right, we are in at Target, and there seems to be a few movies worth at least checking out over here. Well, compared to last week when there was nothing, so this is at least somewhat of a welcome change, guys. And the first thing I'm seeing is they have the Blu-ray digital of Don't Tell a Soul for $14.99, the DVD for $19.99. Now, I kind of want to talk a moment about Rainn Wilson, because, I said it was kind of odd to see him in this sort of dark, like, tense cat and mouse thriller, and it kind of is, but Rainn Wilson has always done some really offbeat stuff. I mean, not everybody on the planet is pretty much gonna always know him for Dwight from The Office. I mean, that's what you're gonna know him for. That's his shtick. He's always gonna be known for that. No matter what other projects he's gonna do, that's what he's gonna be known for. But he's done a lot more outside of that, actually. I mean, one of the first things I ever actually saw him in was Galaxy Quest with Tim Allen. Do you remember him in there? He played, I think, one of the aliens. Very small role, man. I really loved him in that. And I totally forgot, because it's something that I never really remember. He was in House of a Thousand Corpses. Do you remember? It was that movie, man, that first Rob Zombie horror film, House of a Thousand Corpses, man, and I remember that one, and I always keep forgetting that he was in there, but, I mean, that was a different thing for him to do. Yes, he had a lot of comedic elements in that movie, but it is a horror flick. I mean, he also ended up doing a thriller called The Boy, which was pretty decent as well. Of course, he was in The Meg, so he does some stuff every now and again that is a little different from the normal Dwight Office stuff that you've seen him from and know him from. It's kind of interesting seeing an actor and sort of seeing him out of his comfort zone, because sometimes you look at an actor, and I think we all do it, guys. You've done it, I've done it as well, where we look at an actor and we say that's all he's ever known for, and we look at him and he's always going to be Dwight. He's going to be the Office guy. And if you take more of a deep dive into an actor, I think what you'll find is that unfortunately, even though they're always going to be defined by one role, you end up finding that actually they've done so much more interesting work and so much more work that really needs to be found and discovered, but because the popularity overwhelms the actor, or the role overwhelms the actor, that you can't see them as anything else other than that particular character. It's happened to so many people, Robert Englund, Christopher Reeves, and I could go on and on and on. I would be interested to know if fans of Rainn Wilson or The Office do dive into his other work, because it's always interesting to me as an actor. You know, you like popular roles because popular roles keep you in the spotlight. But after a while, they also tend to be a little bit of a hindrance as well. And I think Rainn Wilson is doing a good job of trying to get away from the comedic elements at times. And doing a movie like this, I think, is the best way to go. I wonder what you guys think. Oh boy. Of course, we have to. Seriously, they have to have money playing here at Target. Really? Ah, why? Oh my god. Okay, fine, whatever. They have money playing here for $12.99. Not nearly low enough, goddammit. Oh my god. And I kind of want to talk about Adam Copeland Edge. I do, man, because how many goddamn times does a wrestler have to try to get into the acting business? Good lord, man. I've lost count. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I have seriously lost a count of how many there is. And I guess I kind of understand it to a certain degree, right? Because, you always see the previous guy and you say, oh, well, if he can do it, I can do it. But that's not always the case, man. I mean, not everyone is going to be like Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Not going to have that charm and charisma. You're not going to have the presence like a Hulk Hogan or an Andre the Giant or even Dave Batista, man. You're just not, I mean, John Cena has even made a nice niche for himself in the action realm. It doesn't always work, though. I mean, sometimes it does. You look at Roddy Piper. He made a nice niche for a few movies that he was in because it was perfect timing. Those were roles that really suited him. I mean, even you look at somebody like a Tor Johnson from way back in the Ed Wood days, and Ed Wood came up to him and said, hey, look, I love your look. I could put you in as this really weird looking creepy monster and have you say a few lines and, be in my movie. I mean, there's stuff like that, man. I mean, some of them work out well. I mean, even Jesse the Body Ventura. I mean, Predator, he was awesome in that and a couple of other things. Sometimes those roles really work. Sometimes they do. And other times they're just terrible. I mean, The Miz cannot act to save his life, man. And there's a lot of other people that have tried their hand over the years that just failed terribly. And I think, to be honest with you, it goes back to, remember the 80s with the Cyndi Lauper craze and the music videos and everything, and all of the WWF wrestlers were in there, Captain Lou Albano and the Iron Sheik and all these people, and suddenly that ended up getting like Hulk Hogan roles, and he was in that Rocky movie, and then it all just spawned from there, and everybody assumed that they could be an actor, because if they're able to act in the ring with hundreds and hundreds of people in a stadium, then they could do it on screen, and that's just not always the case. I mean, there's so many more examples. I mean, you look at Bret Hart with like Lonesome Dove, or so many other ones out there. I mean, Triple H with Blade Trinity. Oh my god. Him and that fucking dog. Jesus God. It's, man, this is not the end of it by any stretch of the imagination, guys. It's just not. I mean, I think for certain actors, you have to be in the right place at the right time with the right role, whether it's Andre the Giant with The Princess Bride, whether it's Dave Bautista with Drax. Whether it's The Rock with the Scorpion King and everything that came after that, with the success that he's had, and you name it, so on and so forth. Unfortunately, a lot of these people just don't understand that, you know, just because you've made it in a wrestling ring and you can act there doesn't mean that it's a piece of cake everywhere else. It just doesn't. It's the same way with rappers that turn into actors and you name it. It's just, sometimes I want to say stick to what you know, but sometimes they surprise me. Like again, Dwayne The Rock Johnson surprised me. And I've seen Roddy Piper surprise me in the past, and I've seen certain wrestlers surprise me, but it's just got to be the right roles, man. And unfortunately, not everyone is gonna have that charisma and that appeal to the fan base that they think they do. Look, I kind of feel like we're just going to go around the merry-go-round of more friggin' people that are going to try to act in movies. God bless their heart. 90% of them don't work. But the 10% that do, go on to good success. I mean, hey, if you get your 15 minutes of fame, you get your 15 minutes of fame regardless. But Money Plane? Oh, let's just put it this way. Ain't no one is gonna steal this fucking movie. And then we have the Blu-ray digital of Songbird for $22.99. Nice to see this again. And it's kind of interesting because there's a handful of movies that could be considered pandemic films, essentially. Now, there's a lot of post-apocalyptic films out there that could technically be considered pandemic films as well, to a certain extent or two. But honestly, it's not as many pandemic films as you might think there is. I mean, there's Patient Zero, there's 12 Monkeys, which is a really good one. There's also, God, I guess you could say The Happening isn't it? Oh man. The less said about The Happening, the better. We're not diving into that craptacular movie, guys. No way, man. I mean, you have 1971's The Omega Man. You have Carriers with Chris Pine, which isn't half bad. You also have 28 Days Later. Well, actually, it's kind of interesting because a lot of people consider 28 Days Later a zombie movie. And I guess I kind of go back and forth on that one, right? Because some people say they're zombies. I think it's more of like a rage virus type of deal. So I put it more in like possibly a pandemic. But see, that's kind of going to be one of those debates that's going to rage on forever. So I don't really know if that's ever going to get solved. I put it more in the rage virus thing more than zombies. But that's just me though, man. I mean, you also have Bird Box, which Bird Box is technically considered a pandemic movie to a certain degree. Also a post-apocalyptic film, too, I guess. Still a really good film, though. I guess you could categorize it in certain ways. However, the big one is Contagion. And it's so fascinating with Contagion, guys, because I remember it's a movie that did not get a lot of love at the box office. Not many people really cared about that film. And then when the COVID-19 pandemic really happened, everybody was buying up Contagion, watching it. It was like the movie to watch for like the longest time because people were like, "Oh my god, like that's like the true pandemic movie. We gotta know what to do by watching Contagion." I'm like, people are finally figuring out about Contagion. Jeez, it took them long enough. Good God, man. I mean, glad it finally got the love that it truly deserves, man. But it's interesting because certain pandemic movies, a lot of times, are not extremely realistic. I mean, even The Crazies, which I love. The Crazies, George Romero's The Crazies is great. I don't know if I would consider that truly even realistic in a lot of ways. I mean, outside of Contagion, I have to say that the realistic sort of pandemic movie would be Songbird. Songbird is just really fantastic, of just the realism of what might actually happen if a virus would mutate and people are locked in their places for years on end, and the authority takes over. there's something about it that's really wild and very fascinating and interesting. You know what I mean? I know that we're going to get more pandemic movies in the future. I know that Hollywood is actually going to do that, guys. I mean, I kind of feel like they have no other choice, really. I mean, it kind of feels like they would have to exploit it more and do more pandemic films. It just kind of makes sense to me. But I think we're going to get some wild and crazy pandemic films, man. I truly do. Within the next 5 years or more, I expect a lot of these films to come down the pike. But I feel like not every pandemic movie is created equal. And some are better than others. Some are more realistic than others, like Contagion. Some are more fun. But I gotta say, within the next few years, you're going to get a lot of these movies talking about COVID-19, talking about the virus and affecting people's lives, and various movies, whether it's horror films or love stories or dramas. You're gonna see it all. But I gotta give Songbird credit because I feel like maybe it's not as well known now, but I feel like within sort of 5 or 10 years' time, I think we'll be looking back on Songbird and saying what a very unique and interesting and well done pandemic film. Not as realistic as Contagion, maybe not as wild and crazy as something like a 28 Days Later or a 12 Monkeys, but extremely fascinating with amazing acting. And I just like the idea of a future where, well, I don't want to say if I would like it. It kind of terrifies me, but just the idea of a world where human interaction could literally kill you. And that alone is just really terrifying in some unique ways. And I think some people are going to take it and really run with it. I think Hollywood's going to do a lot of stuff, but I think Songbird, I truly believe this, is going to be one of the ones that is really, in the years to come, is going to be a true standout. And then I'm seeing the Blu-ray digital of Promising Young Woman for $24.99. Now, I don't know how many times I've told you guys throughout the videos that I really appreciate a strong female character. I really do. You know, when I was growing up, my mother and father would show me these really great movies and old school TV shows, and it really made me appreciate females as very strong and powerful and just as capable as any man could be. And I really appreciated that, man. I truly did. And going forward, I still appreciate strong female characters to this very day, man. And, you know, for some of the newer movie lovers out there, there is some newer examples still out there. I mean, there's The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which is a really great series of movies with a really great, strong female character. You have Kill Bill, which has a really great, empowering female character that, you know, goes from tragedy back to revenge in a really wild way, but, you know, very, very powerful and a really great statement. I would also say Mad Max Fury Road, because Furiosa is so badass and just take control and kick ass, and I think that's a really great role model as well. I mean, all those are really great movies. I don't know if they're as true life examples as Promising Young Woman is, but I mean, for me, even going back to those old school horror films, right? Like the Friday the 13th and the Nightmare on Elm Streets and the Halloweens and everything. I mean, you had a female that was being completely terrorized, turn the tables on her aggressor, and come out on top in the end. There's something powerful about that. There really honestly is. And, you know, obviously those movies are all fantasies. And I said it's not as realistic as this movie, and it really is. This movie is very, very, very realistic, and it goes to some really dark territory and some places where it's going to make people uncomfortable. It really is. But I feel that, you know, these movies need to be told. We need to continue to have strong female characters. We need to continue to push boundaries for women in cinema. I truly feel that it's important because even though we've come a long way, there is a lot more to go. And I'm just being real and honest with you guys. And I think Promising Young Woman is the next step in that, of talking about, taking advantage of females and how, even though females are still empowered, they're still at a disadvantage in so many ways. And I like the idea that we can have this movie. I mean, this movie, there is no, mystic bad guy that she has to overcome. There is no crazy adventure that she has to survive and find the jewel at the end, or beat a bunch of bad guys. It isn't. It's much more realistic. It's much more hard hitting than that. But it needs to be told. These movies need to be told. Those horror films need to be told. Those great action movies with those kick-ass females need to be told. We need to get to a place where any prejudice of females needs to go away. And I think we're slowly getting there, but it's going to take a long time, man. And it's movies like Promising Young Woman that really sort of lifts the curtain to some of the more troubling aspects. And I think we need to wrestle with those aspects in order to truly move forward. I think Promising Young Woman is one of those movies that really gets us there. Is it the be-all, end-all? Do we watch this movie and that's the end? We've solved all the problems? No, it's not the end. We haven't solved all the problems, and there's a lot more to go. But I think it's a start, and I think that's really important. Kind of curious as to what you guys think about that one, but I think it's really well done and extremely worthwhile watching, just for the performances alone. But the message that this movie conveys is equally as important and definitely needs to be explored by everybody, as far as I'm concerned, man. Truly. Not bad selection, not as much as Walmart, but still decent, dare I say, and better than last week, which had Zippo Zilch. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's head out. I actually think Target didn't do half bad this week. I mean, truth be told, they could have been a little bit better. Okay. However, again, this is Target, and they're not always the best. And like I said, last week they had Zippity Doodah, so I'll take at least like 4 releases versus nothing to show off. And that's sort of Target in general, isn't it? Because sometimes we'll see a decent amount, other times we'll see nothing. It really is a gamble, honestly, coming into Target most times. But I've always said when it's a big release week or a decent size release week, we'll get some interesting titles. And this time around, we definitely did. So I can't feel so bad. Something, as I said, is better than nothing, and this time definitely proves it. However, I wish they had a little bit different stuff. I mean, they didn't have Psycho Gorman, but they had Money Plane? Really? Whatever. It's Target. What do you expect? Alright, hey, at least we saw something. And that ain't half bad. Come on, truly. That's not half bad, guys. Alright. We saw some decent media, and that's all I really hope for at the end of the day. How about we head to the next location, and hopefully more media to come. All right, everybody, we are at our third location, the second Walmart. I'm going to go in and check out if there's any interesting indie titles we're showing off. If there is, I will bring it back to Film Fan 108 HQ and show it off to you guys. But before I do that, I got to talk about a trailer with you guys, and that is none other than Disney and Pixar's Lucca. Yes, I finally got a chance to watch this trailer, man. And I've heard good things about the trailer. I did. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. It's basically a teaser of a trailer for the most part, man. But it's basically the next big Disney animated thing that's coming out at this point. And basically it's about these 3 friends that are in this small village town. They got to stick together. They're going to have a really wonderful time with the locals and just celebrating life. The only problem is that they're actually sea creatures who, when they're not in the water, actually look like human kids. But when they're in the water, they're just regular average sea creatures. And it's, I'm assuming, a sort of comedic drama adventure of these kids who want to feel normal, who want to look normal, who want to act normal among the people. And it's sort of the complications of that. I like the trailer. I actually really do like the trailer a lot, man. I thought it was fun. I love the animation, man. I mean, it's Pixar. Pixar is great, right? I mean, the animation is always wonderful, so it's kind of a no-brainer with Pixar. But I gotta admit, it looks like a fun time. It reminds me of, obviously being in this Spanish Mexican village. It reminds me a lot of something like Coco, which I love Coco, man. If it's anything close to being as good as Coco, then I am definitely on board, man, in a big bad way. Like I told you guys before, I'm not a big animation guy. I used to be when I was a kid, so many years back now, but as an adult, not so much. But I've slowly but surely been inching my way becoming more of a fan again. And Coco was one of those ones that really sort of got me back into it. And so I'm looking forward to this. I like the design of the sea creature stuff from what I've seen so far. I like the funny interactions. Like at the end of the trailer, like one of the boys throws water at the other boy and half of his face is like a sea creature and the other half is normal. He's like, oh, and the older guy's like, where did you say you were from? Like the sort of funny complications of it. I think it looks good, man. It really does. Pixar is always solid with their animation and usually their story as well. I like some of the newer Disney stuff that they're doing with the story and diving into different cultures. So yeah, for me, man, this looks like a winner to me. I mean, I'd like to see one more trailer before really deciding, but this one looks like I could really get into it, man. It looks fun. So I'm down for this one. I don't know if you guys are. Definitely let me know. In the meantime, let's head into the second Walmart and see what indie goodies we can possibly find. Well, guys, I hate to admit it, but I am here at the second Walmart, and there is nothing new worth showing off this week. I'm serious. Like, they have the new releases that we saw at the first Walmart, but as far as indie titles, like, none of the stuff that I thought was gonna be here is not here. Like, the shelving is empty. Whether it's Castle Freak or Psycho Gorman, some of the other indie titles, you name it, it's all empty. Nada, zippo, zilch. So, yeah. Kind of a surprise. Usually we find something here, but this time around, nothing. Massively disappointed, dude. I was hoping something, but, yeah, it's a big old bust this time around. Wah, wah, huh? Guess let's head out of here. Better look at the next place, huh? All right, everybody. We are at our fourth and final location. And, we've seen a lot of media. Decent amount. But we could save the best for last. Possibly. Maybe. You never know when you go to the Beast. Yes, we are at the next last location. And that is none other than the Beast. Best Buy, baby. It's been an interesting week for physical media, dare I say. Some very unique and interesting titles, fascinating discussions, and one more place to check out. What do we see? Maybe a lot of new releases, maybe some interesting titles we haven't checked out, exclusives. You never know. It's the Beast, the Best Buy. It could always surprise, and let's hope it does one more time. Let's head into the Beast and check it out. All right, we are in at Best Buy, and the one thing I'm seeing over in the new release section is they have the Blu-ray digital of Promising Young Woman for $24.99. Now, I'm going to talk about one more thing here when it comes to Promising Young Woman, and it's going to upset some of you guys, but I got to talk about it. I really got to dive into this interesting topic, and that is rape revenge films. I know it's a tough thing to swallow and it's a tough topic to deal with, but it's one I gotta dive in with you guys, and that is the rape revenge genre. Now, if you are a movie lover of any kind for a long time, then at one point or another you're going to come across a movie that has rape in it. It's just the thing. You're gonna come across it. Especially if you're a horror movie lover, that happens more times than not. And I mean, you look at movies back in the day, especially stuff from like the 70s, whether it's Last House on the Left or I Spit on Your Grave, those movies of course had it, and a lot of stuff. Even a movie like Reanimator has a guy holding his own head, giving head to a female forcibly. I mean, there's some sort of rape or sexual assault aspect to a lot of movies out there, especially horror movies. And some are more shocking than others. Others are very tame, but it's more prevalent than you might think it is. I mean, let's not lie, especially with the guys. I mean, you see a woman on the street, she's very good looking, and you think about things. Hell, I've done it as well. I'm not gonna lie, man. And there's certain times where I'm watching a movie and I'm watching something happen to a female, and I get very conflicted. Like, for instance, when I watched a movie like Irreversible, which is a phenomenal movie. Irreversible is, wow. Jeez, man, that is like hard hitting. But there is a scene, and you guys know the scene with Monica Bellucci. You know it. And if you haven't seen it, you'll know what that scene is. And, Monica Bellucci is a very good-looking woman. She's a beautiful woman. And that scene is hard to watch. That's a hard-to-watch scene, man. It really gets to you in a big, bad way. You're titillated because of Monica Bellucci. She's a beautiful woman, but you're conflicted in a big bad way, and there's a lot of these times where you are. And I talked about at Target, about the survivor girl aspect, about a woman taking her matters into her own hands and getting revenge. And yes, even though you have to get through the tough part of seeing the rape these people do to a woman, and yes, some of the revenge is sweet because of it, does it really justify the rape at the end of the day? I'm kind of curious as to what you guys think about that. I mean, I truly am. I don't think it's as black and white as you guys might think it is. And in a lot of ways, there's a lot of movies that have come out as of late which really are sort of, I mean, there's an evolution, I guess I should say, to the rape revenge films. Whether we're talking about MFA or that movie Revenge, which is a really interesting movie. Even looking at a movie like Hard Candy with Ellen Page, which is a really hard-hitting movie, man. And that is a really great one about the idea of underage girls and what a guy would do and how turning the tables on them. Even a movie, if you've never heard of it, called Ellie, a movie that Paul Verhoeven directed about a woman that gets revenge through through sort of the person who wronged her. It's a very interesting one, and it's the evolution of rape revenge movies. It's the evolution of that in a lot of ways, if you think about it. I mean, even go back to like Evil Dead. A tree raped a woman. I mean, it's ridiculous, it's over the top, but it happened, right? I mean, and that's what I'm saying, is that I think we have to get to a point where I guess I should say that I look at those ones from the 70s and the 80s, and I appreciate what they were trying to do and the statements that they were trying to make with females, and how that this is wrong and that the revenge aspect to it, and I get it, and there's a lot of them that I really do love and I really do appreciate. I think we've honestly kind of grown out of it as a horror society. I truly feel we have. And just in general, in movies alone, I think we've outgrown it. And I think Promising Young Woman really takes that idea and really runs with it and says, this is uncomfortable. This is extremely uncomfortable. And even though there is still this stigma on women, maybe we need to get past it. Maybe this is not the way to go forward as far as movies are. And maybe we should present these scenarios in a different way than what we're already presenting them as. I'm not saying that those movies don't have a place in society. They do, and I think ultimately the message is good at the end of the day, that good will overcome evil and that these people will get their comeuppance, but it shouldn't have happened in the first place. I think going forward, and it's interesting because I had a friend of mine who was a huge horror movie fan years and years and years ago. And he left the horror genre. He left the horror genre and didn't turn back. And I said, why? Why are you leaving the horror genre? What's the problem? And he says the rape. He was honest with me. He said, Seth, the rape I can't deal with while watching a lot of these horror movies, and there's rape and something or other here. And he just got very upset by it and very frustrated, and he left. He split town. And, you know, at first I got very mad at him. I was like, oh, come on, man. I mean, it's not that bad. And, you know, and now I'm reevaluating things. And there's a lot more. I mean, a lot of those movies that I mentioned are classics. And those movies are very well appreciated in the communities that people watch them in. But I think we have outgrown it. And I think we can do better. And I think we need to be responsible of what we're putting out there into the world now. And I truly appreciate it. And I'm not saying cancel culture, and I'm not saying anything like that, even though what would be the problem with cancel culture with the rape is what I don't understand, but whatever. But my thing about it is, like, we need to be very mindful of these things. And I'm not going to lie, I'm going to tell a little tidbit to you guys. When I started dating my girlfriend, going on dates with her and everything, I wanted to bring her back to my apartment. You know, just to show her my movies and maybe cuddle up. But, you know, I wasn't going to take advantage of her and everything. And she was scared. She was honestly scared to come back to my apartment because of all the horror stories that she's heard of men taking advantage of women and, you know, the struggles and the horror stories, and she was terrified. I would never hurt a woman in my entire life. I mean, even though I've watched a lot of these rape revenge movies and I've seen way more than I care to say, I would never do anything to her. But that's the stigma. That's what's out there in the world, and I think movies do have a big influence on it. And so I think going forward, even though those movies will forever be around, and I appreciate that they're around because I think those movies do have value, I think going forward, I think we really need to reevaluate where we go next within these genres. And I think Promising Young Woman opens the door to that discussion. Good, bad, you know, uncomfortable. We need to have those discussions, man. And I think Promising Young Woman does. You know, it's not easy having these discussions with people, but I think if we at least start to open the door, then I think it's worth it. I really do, man. I don't know whether you guys agree with me, but I really honestly do. And I think Promising Young Woman is an amazing film that has a lot to say and makes people uncomfortable, but I think it's uncomfortable in the best ways possible because maybe we can finally start to have an honest-to-God conversation and maybe change the way we think, even just a little bit. It's a start, man. I'm kind of curious as to what you guys think. I know it's an uncomfortable subject, and I'm sure a lot of you guys already moved on to the next part of the video, but I had to bring it up, guys, because, you know, as a movie lover, as somebody who is a person who is on YouTube and has a responsibility, and I want to bring up these discussions, if I didn't bring it up, I think you guys would kill me. So I definitely wanted to, guys. But it's a movie that I really think is important, in all the right ways and definitely needs to be seen. I'm kind of curious as to what you guys think, man. You do get a promising vision, two-sided transformation, balancing act, and feature commentary as well, which must be fascinating. It's a phenomenal movie, blew my mind away. It's amazing, and it has a message that really resonated with me in a big bad way, man. So I'm on board with this film. Truly, truly am, man. I hope you guys will be too. Not bad, man. And unfortunately, that does it for this section of Best Buy. Not a lot. I mean, only Promising Young Woman, but maybe more to come? Let's find out. And on the backside of Best Buy, ooh, that's looking a little rough, guys. Yikes, there's not much new worth checking out here. I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty friggin' bare, man. I mean, the only stuff I'm seeing over here is they have the Blu-ray digital of Don't Tell a Soul for $14.99. It still does look interesting. A nice little cat and mouse thriller. Not much more to say about this, but Flesh and Blood creating Don't Tell a Soul. Okay, the only special feature. I mean, if you're a fan of Rainn Wilson, cat and mouse thrillers might be interesting. I mean, they have that. Then the only other thing they have is actually the Blu-ray digital of Dark Web Cicada 3301 for $15.99. Okay, now I'm kind of happy to see this one more time, and the reason why is because I kind of want to talk about hacker movies, right? I kind of do, because some hacker movies are fun, some are frankly ridiculous, but there's some pretty interesting ones out there. I mean, there's Snowden with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, The Fifth Estate with Benedict Cumberbatch. I mean, you have the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo movies, which are kind of in some ways a little bit of hacker movies to a small extent. They are. I mean, you also have, of course, that great 1995 movie, The Net, with Sandra Bullock. That's a good one, man. That's a really solid one. Not many people talk about that as far as Sandra Bullock, but it's really good, man. And also, come on, Hackers? Yeah, you think I wasn't going to talk about Hackers? That's a great one, man. Hackers is an awesome film, man. Really, really great, dude. I love that movie. It's kind of ridiculous and very over the top, but there's something about it that I really kind of like, cheesy as it may be. And then there's also that one, I believe from 92, with Robert Redford, Sneakers. Oh my God, Sneakers is so great, man. Dan Aykroyd and a whole bunch of people in that one, man. That's a really great one as well. Truly. And I guess one other one I'll say, and I don't want to exclude it, is Swordfish. Yeah. Oh my God, that's a good one with Travolta and Hugh Jackman and Halle Berry's tits. Oh jeez. Oh my God, man. That was the whole thing of the movie, wasn't it? I mean, now that I'm kind of thinking about it, guys, it actually was. Like, they literally promoted that for Swordfish in order to get people into the theater to watch the damn thing. They said, oh, by the way, you're going to see Halle Berry's boobs. And everybody was so up in arms about it, man. God, I remember that, man. Jeez. And I remember seeing the scene, right? And it was like one of the blandest scenes in the entire fucking movie was seeing Halle Berry's tits. I was so disappointed, man. Jesus. God. Oh, man, that takes me back, dude. Jeez. That was the whole thing for it, too, man. But that is actually a very fun movie. Hugh Jackman's great in it. Travolta's a great bad guy in that movie, dude. Not many people talk about that one as much as they should. I mean, yeah, they talk about the Halle Berry boob thing, but, I mean, other than that, no. But, I mean, there's some good hacker movies out there, man. And Dark Web, honestly, it had the chance to do it. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's a good idea. And the Dark Web is a very treacherous place with a lot of seedy things going on in it, very illegal, and, you know, it felt like they were trying to maybe be a Fincher film, like be like The Game or something, where like there's like paranoia all around you, and people from the Dark Web are coming after you, and you don't know who you can trust and who you can't. I mean, they wanted to try to be a Fincher film, but yet they wanted it to be like this hip, cool comedy at the same time, and those two worlds just don't mix, man. I'm not saying they can't, but I just don't think they went about it in the right way, man. I mean, there's ways to do it right. I think a movie like Swordfish does actually get it right between sort of pulpy action, the comedy of it, and also the drama and the thrill. I think there's a way to do it, and I think they did it pretty well. And I think a lot of those movies did, even like a movie like Hackers did, and even Sneakers did a great the tongue-in-cheek comedy aspects to it. I mean, it was pretty good. There's ways you can do it, but this movie didn't quite get it exactly right, man, and it kind of sucks, man. Ah, I want some really good hacker movies in this day and age, and we just can't get them. I mean, they tried with a movie like Black Hat with Chris Hemsworth, and that movie really sucked, man. I mean, for a movie directed by like Michael Mann, you'd think that movie would be all kinds of awesome, and boy, did it fucking suck, dude. I don't think we've gotten a really good hacker movie as of yet in like the early 2000s. I'm still waiting for it, man. If you guys can name one, definitely let me know. But man, I'm still waiting, dude. But the old school ones, man, the ones from like the 80s and the 90s, dude, so good, man. And even the early 2000s. I mean, Swordfish, gotta give some love, minus the lame Halle Berry news theme, but. Oh, yeah, this one had an opportunity to do it, and it just failed miserably, unfortunately, man. Real shame. Real fucking shame, dude. I mean, you do get commentary, deleted scenes, trailer. I mean, there is some good stuff, but... damn, man, this movie was a letdown, dude. Hackers, it is not. Just saying. Disappointment. No doubt. Unfortunately, that seems to do it for Best Buy, man. They have nothing here. It is nuts. I mean, they had some stuff. They had Rad and Money Plane and Castle Freak, Ip Man, Kung Fu Master. They had some, but it's all empty, man, which really sucks. I was hoping for more here. Majorly disappointed in the Beast this week, dude. That sucks. Well, better luck next time, I suppose. All right. Let's head out. This is pretty disappointing for Best Buy, guys. I mean, they definitely did not deliver this week. Outside of a couple titles that we saw, ain't much here, man. And actually, I don't know if you guys have noticed with your Best Buys or not, but it's like, there is not much selection anymore. I mean, look at this. Over like the movie collection, TV collection stuff, look at that. Mega empty, man. I mean, you have these little, like, display areas here. Completely empty as all hell. You go over here. Well, this area actually does have some movies, but for a lot of them, I'm not gonna lie, man, there is not much at all to show off, dude. I'm serious. I mean, a lot of the areas are pretty fucking bare, man. Damn, dude. I was hoping for more from Best Buy this week. I was hoping maybe to see an exclusive or maybe to see some stuff that we haven't seen yet. Because sometimes Best Buy is good at that. But this Best Buy, not so much this week, man. I talked to somebody who works here and they said, yeah, they barely got anything. I mean, they have the tags for the stuff, but they didn't actually get in the selection. Maybe next week? Better luck next time, I suppose. But yeah, they didn't. And if you would have actually told me, guys, before I started this video, that the first Walmart would be better than Best Buy, I would have called you guys a fucking liar. But here we are, and that's why you do the out and abouts, because you never know until you actually go into the stores. And sometimes you'll be absolutely surprised, and sometimes you'll be mega disappointed. Every single time. A true gamble, indeed. Well, at least we tried. A few titles we're checking out. Not much. Alright, let's head home and finish the video. So, it's not quite the end of the video yet, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you, okay? I was really disappointed with Best Buy, where I usually am, man. I mean, I know that there's so much more media to come out, but they just didn't have it. And I keep on thinking to myself, I'm like, why aren't they getting in this stock? Like, I know there's so much more, but they just had such a limited amount, or not even really much at all. And so, look, I decided that I am going to take the gamble, and I am going to drive an hour and a half out of my goddamn way to try to go to one more Best Buy location. Yeah, I'm here, man. I drove an hour and a half out of my way to go to yet one more location to see maybe if I can see a little bit more media than we did over at Best Buy. Maybe. I'm hoping. I must be out of my mind doing this, man. I mean, seriously, but I figured why not take the gamble, man? And this Best Buy that I am at, honestly, like the last time I was here was when I found that really great Hocus Pocus steelbook. So I know they usually have good media here, but it's been a long time since I've been at this one. So I'm going to go in and let's hope that I find some stuff I haven't seen yet. It's a gamble. Best Buys are changing. Actually, most places for physical media is changing, but let's hope I luck out, guys. Let's head in and hope for more physical media goodness. Holy shit, guys. I am here in this Best Buy, and this is even worse than the one that I normally go to. I'm dead serious, guys. They literally have only this right here, this small little area. They have this right here, and then they have these two tiny ones right here. That's it. They got rid of the rest of their stuff. Holy shit, guys. They got rid of them all, man. Like, they barely have anything, and they don't have any of the new releases. They don't have Rad or literally anything. Like, at least the Best Buy that I went to had something to show off. They have nothing. They have none of the new releases whatsoever. Oh my god. This is ridiculous, dude. Holy shit. Like, seriously, again. Like, they have the stuff over here, there, and just this little area here. That's it. And none of the new releases whatsoever. Holy shit, guys. Best Buy is getting really bad, man. And that is terrible. Wow. I drove an hour and a half for nothing. That sucks. Well, damn. Okay. Guess that proves my theory that, I guess whichever Best Buy you go to, your luck is gonna start to run out. Well, I guess it was worth the gamble. No, it wasn't. How about I head back home and finish the video? Alright, everybody. That'll do it for the Blu-ray and DVD out and about video this week. And, well, that was a bitch. Man, oh man, guys. I apologize. I really do. And I know a lot of you are going to be like, Seth, why are you apologizing? And I'm just apologizing, and I know it's out of my control, but I knew that this week was a big week, and there was a lot of physical media that was coming to the stores, or should have come to the stores, and it's so weird because usually it's a whole different way, but it was ass backwards this week because, like, that first Walmart was really good, and then Target ended up doing pretty decent, and then nothing from the second Walmart, barely anything from Best Buy, and I even went to a third Walmart location. They had no new indie titles whatsoever. They had barely filled any of the big name new releases. And a lot of those were missing too. And then, of course, as I showed you guys, going to that second Best Buy location, which, damn. I mean, and I thought the Best Buy that I went to was bad. No, this is worse. And so, man, I get frustrated, guys. I get frustrated because I want to show off so much physical media to you, and I feel like I'm gonna be real. I feel like I let you guys down. I honestly feel like I let each and every one of you down, and that really gets to me at the end of the day. It really honestly does. So I apologize. I mean, I know eventually I'm gonna get a chance to talk about Psycho Gorman or talk about Castle Freak, and I'll be able to talk about them eventually when I see them in stores. But I was ready to talk about them, and it just I was unable to. There was just not as much media as I was hoping there was, and I get really pent up and frustrated about this, guys, because I love physical media so much. I love the movies. And I just don't get why they're not on store shelves. I don't get it, man. I mean, I was talking to one guy who I know who works at one of the Best Buys, a decent friend, and he said that Best Buy, they don't order these movies. Okay, like I thought they ordered them. No, actually, what they do is that they get sent a certain allotment of titles to their store, and that's it. Maybe they'll get more eventually down the road. Maybe they won't, but they can't order it. It's just given to them, and that sucks. And it sucks that we just don't see as much physical media as I want to. And I just sometimes I want to, man, I literally want to time travel to like 10 or 15 years ago where like blockbusters were still around and circuit cities and media play and all these physical media outlets, and man, I wish we could do that, dude, because I miss the glory days. I want the glory days back, but I know I know that we're never going to get that again. Unfortunately, that we're just never going to do it. And I know that this is out of my control, but I just felt so bad, and I apologize so much to you guys that we didn't get to see as much physical media as we should have. And that just really hurts me, and I want to do the best I can for you guys, and I truly feel that this week was a letdown, man. So, hopefully next week can be better. Hopefully the stores can have a lot of stuff on the shelves. Let's hope, guys. Let's pray to the physical media gods because, man, some weeks you think are not going to be plentiful and they end up being a really great surprise, and other weeks you think is going to be mega weeks and they turn out to be a bust. I guess you never know until you actually do the out and abouts, huh? Yeah, it's true. Truly is, man. I mean, regardless, there is still some great stuff that came out this week. Hopefully, you checked out something good. If you did, definitely let me know. As far as I'm concerned, well, I actually ended up getting. First off, I got a couple things in the mail that I will show you guys. I got a title from Deep Discount. They were ended up actually doing a sale on some of the Mill Creek stuff, and I realized that I didn't actually have this in the collection. Crazy enough, and I love the movie, and that is The Legend of Billie Jean. I Man, I forgot that I didn't even have this title. Man, I love this movie. Man, Helen Slater's so awesome, man. I love this movie. I ordered it through them, thinking I would actually get the retro VHS slipcover. No, they totally whiffed on that one, man, which kind of pisses me off. I'm not gonna lie, but I do have the movie now, so there is that. So, Legend of Billie Jean Love. Then I actually ordered through BestBuy.com. I ordered The Golden Child. Yes, I ordered Paramount Presents Golden Child Blu-ray. I love this movie, and I've been wanting to order it for a while, and man, things have been on the back burner. Other things I've been pre-ordering. Finally got a chance to get this, man. So that is really cool on the inside there. Cool little art there, and same same artwork on the inside as well. Love this movie. Never actually owned it in the collection before. Crazy enough. Finally have the Golden Child. Not half bad, man. And then, okay, so when I was at the second Best Buy location, literally, an hour and a half away from me, I was wondering if there was actually any other places that were kind of close by. And I was looking on my phone. Actually, there was an FYE that was about an hour away, and I should have just came home, man. But I said fuck it, and I drove an hour to you know a random FYE location that I haven't been to an FYE in a long time, man, since the one near me closed. And so I did pick up something from FYE, guys. Oh my god, I haven't picked up something from FYE in a long ass time. Damn, dude. And I actually, well, first off, going into FYE, man, that was a trip, dude. And I got to admit, I actually almost filmed in FYE. I didn't, only because FYE frowns on you filming in their locations, and I probably could have done it and they didn't see me, but I wanted to be respectful, and they did say to get in contact with corporate, and corporate might let me film in one of the locations, maybe. I'll try it, guys. But I going in FYE is so interesting. Some of the used movies and some of the stuff where you're like, wow, it's kind of crazy that some of these titles that I've never heard of, and ones where I'm like, oh my god, I haven't seen this release in a while. And the one I actually picked up, I only picked one thing up, but that was actually the Blu-ray of La Feminakita. Oh my god, yes, I picked this up. And crazy enough, guys, I actually was talking about this movie like early on in the video. And so bizarre, I went there and I found La Femme Nikita. And this is not a used copy. This is a brand new copy of La Femme Nikita. Now I looked on Amazon.com, and apparently it's like going new for like $60. But I went on eBay and people are selling it for like 25, 30, somewhere around there. I actually got it for $6.99 plus tax, like $7 and change. Like, that's wild, dude. For a brand new Blu-ray edition of La Femme Nikita, that's awesome. And I don't have it in the collection. So that's like really cool, man. So what a great action movie, man, by Luc Besson. So awesome, dude. Wow. Surprised on this one, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Truly surprised. And if this wasn't enough, guys, these three wonderful titles that I now have for the collection, I also got a package in the mail from Severin Films. I wish I could actually show you the package, but I already got rid of it. However, I didn't get rid of the actual Blu-rays that I got from them. I actually got 4 titles in the mail from Severin. Let's see here. Old school vampire drama, 70s grindhouse exploitation, criminals on the run doing very nasty deeds, and a battle with the devil. Yes. Some really great stuff from Severin Films, guys. I am so excited about some of those. I've not heard of pretty much most of those titles, but that's kind of why I love these companies, man, especially Severin. They put out some crazy wild stuff, and I love diving into it, man. But you guys will not get to find out exactly what I picked up until my Blu-ray pickup video, which will drop at some point. It'll show off all of the titles that I got for the month of March, and it's gonna be a good one, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Collector's editions, limited editions, out of print, retrograde, wonderful 80s and 90s and exploitation. So much good stuff. You guys know how I do it. So it's going to be really good. So definitely stay tuned to that. And stay tuned to the channel, guys, because me and the guys, we are in the lab. We're cooking up some stuff for you guys, hopefully sooner rather than later. We're going to try to do a Justice League Zack Snyder cut review for you. Hopefully, a Coming to America 2 review. Maybe up and coming Godzilla vs. Kong. Gonna try to get up as soon as I can the December Blu-ray pickup video. Finally getting that out to you guys. Plus much more, including more live streams as well, which you guys seem to love too. I'm going to try to do more work for you guys. It's never easy. Working 40 plus hours a week, helping to take care of my mother, spending time with my girlfriend, planning the videos, shooting them, editing them, and so much, guys. It takes a lot of effort to do this, and trying to keep my head above water is never easy, but I do it for you guys because I really care about each and every one of you. I truly do. You guys really go out of your way for me, and I want to go out of my way for you. So I appreciate it, guys, so much. So definitely stay tuned to the channel. There is more content coming your way, I promise. And before I let you guys go, I want to talk about something very interesting. Now, I found this article, which is pretty kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie, man. Very interesting. Lionsgate teams with Sony in new multi-year home entertainment pact. Good news for physical media, dare I say, guys. So, while many major studios have collapsed their marketing and distribution ops to focus jointly on theatrical and streaming releases, what is simply going on here is that Lionsgate is getting a new home entertainment distribution partner. Lionsgate used to distribute their DVDs, etc., through 20th Century Fox. Following Fox's acquisition by Disney, that deal will lapse in July and the new one with Sony will commence. Similar to their deal with Fox, Lionsgate will continue to maintain its own independent sales and marketing teams while leveraging Sony's supply chain and distribution services. The agreement was jointly announced by members of both Sony Pictures and Home Entertainment and Lionsgate as well. We're excited to embark on this new relationship with Lionsgate in physical home entertainment. By working together, we can identify and leverage efficiencies in the supply chain that will benefit not only our respective studios, but also retailers and ultimately the millions of consumers who enjoy Sony Pictures and Lionsgate feature films and TV programs in the 4K, UHD, Blu-ray, and DVD formats. We're pleased to be working with Sony Pictures, a respected world-class distributor who shares our philosophical commitment to the customer. This collaboration makes both our business even stronger, and our new agreement enhances our ability to serve the retail community and consumers with innovation, adaptability, and strong content slates in the years to come. As was touted earlier this week, Paramount Plus will include popular Lionsgate movies like The Hunger Games in their library when it launches on March 4th. And of course, going forward, the distribution chain as well. Very interesting, guys. And I gotta admit, this is really great news for physical media. I mean, truly, it is if you really think about it, man. Because physical media, if you really think about it like this, physical media has an uphill climb every single year. As every single year passes, digital home entertainment is getting more popular. People are switching more over to streaming. And a lot of these studios and these companies are not as focused on physical media as I truly believe they should be. And it's nice to see Lionsgate teaming up with Sony to have the Sony distribution and to get those titles out into the masses perhaps a little bit easier than they normally would, which again is great. And anything that keeps physical media alive in any positive way, I gotta champion, guys. I truly have to champion. It's the same way when PS5 ended up, announcing that you could use the 4K discs on their gaming console, and I thought that was a really positive thing going forward for physical media. It kept it alive that people could use that as a player if they wanted to, and again, seeing a lot of these companies teaming up together, it gives me hope for the future of physical media. Because I'm not gonna lie, guys, there are moments when I see physical media and I see the difficulties and I say, "Oh my God, we are literally if you truly think about it, guys, we are literally like almost like a strand, a long strand away from just physical media being gone forever. It just takes something to go. It doesn't matter whether it's the stores that are not going to really carry it anymore, or whether one of these companies or studios to just say screw it, we're not going to put out any physical media anymore. Thankfully, that has not been the case. But perhaps it's only a matter of time, right? Perhaps it is. At the end of the day, perhaps this is all a matter of time, and maybe one day it's gonna be done, and there's no way that we can fight it anymore. But I don't see that happening for another at least at least 5 to 10 years. I'm hoping. I mean, look, Lionsgate has a lot to gain here. The library that Lionsgate has is massive. The amount of titles that they have is crazy. And Lionsgate in all actuality is a very small company. So to have Sony as a backer is really going to help in a positive way get their name recognition out there even more, get those titles that might not perhaps have gotten a lot of love, perhaps get a little bit more love as well, and also some of those boutique label stuff like Vestron maybe can get out there into the mass market more. There's possibilities on the horizon, and I'm hoping that other studios see this. And I hope other studios see this sort of team up and say, you know what, there is still a place for physical media. There is still an avenue for it, and there's a hunger for it, and these studios still see that it can be viable in a digital world that we still are still grappling with to this day, and the complications of it and where that's all going to go. But I think physical media still has a wide ranging place within that world. And I'm glad to see studios working together towards the common goal of bringing these titles to the masses, to these retail outlets, and giving people a chance to get exposed to those titles more. Because any time that there's more physical media out on the market can never be a bad thing, guys. Absolutely can never be a bad thing. And so I think this works well for everybody in the grand scheme of things. I think this is great. I think that this is going to benefit both Lionsgate and Sony altogether. And I think that anything that makes physical media more important, I'm 100% for it, man. It doesn't matter whether it's a disc drive on a PS5 or companies working together to distribute a little bit more physical media onto the market. Anything to me is welcome, guys. And I want to know from you, do you think that this helps the market? Do you think that this hurts the market? Do you think that this staves off a little bit of the sting of potentially losing physical media sooner rather than later? I think it does. I truly do. But I want to hear from you guys, so definitely let me know. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely give it the thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Check out the other Blu-ray and DVD Tuesday videos that I do every single week. The theatrical movie reviews with my friends, movie hunting videos like Dollar Tree hunts, live streams, Blu-ray pickup videos, and much, much more. If you are a fan of movies and physical media, hit subscribe and become a part of the Film Fan Nation. I want to thank all of my wonderful subscribers out there, each and every one of you who go out of your way to watch the videos, to listen to me ramble about movies, and just go along for this crazy wild ride that I'm on, man. And I appreciate the love and the feedback. You really do care, and I hope that I show that I care just as much, guys. I really hope that I do. So thank you so much for the love and support, and make sure to keep up to date with everything I'm doing through Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. FilmFan108. Keep up to date with everything I'm doing, plus special pictures and videos I do from time to time on social media as well. Alright, guys. I will see you back next week. Hopefully a little bit more plentiful. But you never know until you go do the out and about. So strap in. We'll see where next week lands us. And in the meantime, happy hunting.